It's been a long time. Man, we're talking since my last Such Bullshit podcast, okay? It has been almost 2 fucking years. 2 years. 2 years that I haven't done a Such Bullshit podcast. I am astounded. Oh, man. So this one today. Where do I begin? The title. Okay. I came back because I heard the term black fatigue. Black fatigue. Now, to sum this up, okay, what is black fatigue? You've probably been hearing this term a lot lately. So, black fatigue, I got a bunch of little images and videos I'm going to be playing today, but to sum up black fatigue just by looking at this, right? Just to sum it up, it's basically when black people hear the repeated discouragement of their own race, the stereotypes that build up repeatedly, like the honest, hard-working black folk, right? My next-door neighbor was a black Mormon, owned like 5-6 different houses across many different states, but was a property owner. He was flipping houses, had a lot of money. And he passed away of old age, found out he built a miniature tank and had $200,000-$300,000 worth of guns in his basement. So he could have rolled the tank right out of his fucking house. But, like, I don't know what he was planning, but he must have fucking hated everything. Because he was nice to everyone in the neighborhood. Every race. You know, it's weird. You have weird people that, I guess, just slowly over time direct their hatred towards something else. But not all of them do, unfortunately. And some of them, they face this, fatigue. Fatigue is when they constantly hear their race being discouraged. Let's make a good example here. I just made this example to a friend of mine who's black. My co-owner of my guild. His name is Maritas. I'm not going to go into any further though, but he watches my content too. He's currently online. I could go into his chat and be like, hey, what's up? And we could have a co-thing right here, but I'm not going to do that and put him on the spot. But what I want to say is, like, I ran this by him because even he was surprised to hear this term. Like, this is a term that's been flooding around lately the last 6 months or so. I don't know why, but, I would like to think that it's because, let's say, for example, all the deaths you see on Philadelphia news, right? It's always a black person or something, that you don't want to say, but unfortunately it's on the fucking news. It's on TV. It's in front of your fucking face. You don't want to know about it, but it's just fucking there. It's just there. Okay? And, if a black person was looking at it, eventually they're going to just get annoyed, upset, or they're going to want to find something else. They don't want to look at that crap anymore. It bothers them. They get tired of it, and that's what the term black fatigue is. They're tired of the racism and stereotypes against their own race. So, now that we have established that, I wanted to establish that because someone in political power in an office, we're going to be talking about Sade Perkins, or Sade Perkins. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. This individual was elected to their position by, let me see if I can find him here. Mayor Turner. Now, Mayor Turner was a Democrat that was running Houston, Texas. He was the mayor of Houston, Texas. He died not even a few months ago, March 5th, 2025. So, I looked over his policies. They're actually not bad. Everything that on the Wikipedia page, everything I read, he's actually a good guy for a Democrat. I guess never mentioned because you'd never hear about him in the news for being such a good fucking Democrat. Unlike most of the Democrats you've been hearing about being sleazy, lying, and just making up crap as they go, this guy actually doesn't have any bad history connected to him. To give you one such example of, like, in the mindset of this guy 6 years ago, I'm going to play a clip that I found. Okay, I just knocked this shit. I'm going to play a clip I found, okay, a while back. Let me see what I can find here. Where is it? 6 years ago. This was on the news. I'm going to, mute my mic and I'm just let it play.
A bizarre story out of the mayor's office today. An intern in Mayor Turner's office was let go accused of online bullying that included use of the N-word. And the University of Houston student is caught on tape doing it. Larry Siebert, live on campus, where he talked with the filmmaker who shared that video. Larry?
Lynn, we're not naming that student. She's not charged with any crime, though her words upset, embarrassed City Hall, the University of Houston, and victims she doesn't even know. We had to blur everything she touched and tone out most of her recorded calls. Still,
like, what kind of person goes on a social media page going after somebody, that's that you don't even know?
Words from a former intern to Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner's office.
So he was investigating his own staff and taking immediate action. He was not playing favorites.
And it was just like, wow, like, I can't believe like you're actually doing stuff like this.
Jerry Morka is a Houston-based filmmaker and music video director who shares his work on Instagram. Rarely, he says, is the buzz bad, but a few weeks ago, a 23-year-old UH student attacked a model. Morka threatened to block her and thought it was over, until this morning. That student showered one of Morka's models with insults too nasty to show or repeat.
But when you have, again, people in certain positions of power fucking up that badly, and your main guy is saying, hey, fuck you, get out of my office. You got someone good. So this was a good mayor on all good terms. Now, another idiot, unfortunately, that he hired, everyone has been trash talking. I'm not going to put Sade Perkins up on screen, but what I will do is I will put her TikTok up. I'm going to let her TikTok play uninterrupted. And mind you, this is extremely racist. I do not agree with any of these statements, and this is just purely evil. This is a legitimate racist. This is not black fatigue, which is the point of this stream. I wanted to compare black fatigue versus Sade Perkins actual being a racist. Because this is not the results of black fatigue. I don't even want to hear that as an excuse. I'm showing the difference. Now, I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to play a clip from Sky News, the Australian news, which unfortunately is more accurate than what the fuck we hear anymore. So I'm gonna let this play.
I know I'm probably gonna get canceled for this, but Camp Mystic is a whites-only girls' Christian camp. They don't even have a token Asian. They don't have a token black person. It is a all-white, white-only, conservative Christian camp. If you ain't white, you ain't right, you ain't getting in, you ain't going. Period.
So that was a repost. That was a repost from TikTok by Fox News. I like how Fox News picked it up too. That's actually funny. But let me get into this specifically real quick and just in real short. You know, just in general, I'm going to show an image in a moment. And this really irks me. And I don't know why the news has not been mentioning this at all. So Fox News didn't do it. Sky News didn't do it. No one online's done it. I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if I'm specific. I'm not sure why. So I got an image here. Okay. Ooh. I don't even know if I can post this. Let me see if I can pull this up. It's, I want to hope I saved this. Here we go. So, I'm going to leave it completely full. You're not going to be able to see my face, so, but you can see from the red circles, right? There are some mixed races here. This woman just said, did she not? It was whites only. It was an all-white camp. Can we get a zoom in on some of these, like, you want to zoom in, like, right there? You know, let's zoom in on this one first, the one in the top left corner. That is definitely, like, a Hispanic child. That's definitely a mixed race Hispanic child, just by skin tone, or just a really tan white bird. But that's definitely Hispanic just by looking. Okay, now you got this one. Looks Indian girl, a little mix of Indian in her. Why are we only talking about why are they only white? What about, you could see in the corner, that's definitely a black child right there. So let me go over this in my bottom left corner. And I gotta like break this down. This is a snippet that I made. Black versus white children are Christian. Now, before I go over this, the reason I did AI for Google for this particular thing is because AI is the collective sum of multiple people stating the facts. Now, AI is never 100% true, but when it comes to religion, I like to believe it more than what you would read online from some religious preacher making up shit as they go, because that's most of religion in the first place. So, I'm just going to go on ahead, and I'm going to pull this back up. I'm going to read it together. While I sit here and I, just real quick, I'm going to pop this Red Bull. I'm a little thirsty. Mind you, I'm dry mouthed as hell. Ugh. Sometimes, man. Declining religious importance for black youth. Okay? I can actually see this one. Not many people take their kids to churches anymore. But let's just proceed. That goes for both races, but it's more... I would definitely see black parents not wanting to take their kids to, you know, any kind of churches, whatever, because unfortunately, I mean, look at today's black youth and most of the crime rate, unfortunately, you know, they grow up, they get to like 18, 19, some even 20. You know, completely off the docket, completely off record, you know, unrelated to this whole thing, right? Not to go on a tirade, but I remember seeing an article where a 19-year-old black kid hijacked a car in Philly and hit a parked car that had a 72-year-old white woman in it. Killed her. And he flipped the car and escaped. You know. How you doing, counsel? But, you know, just hearing that, seeing that story was just fucking brutal. You know, like, we need more youth programs. We really do. Mentality of people, it starts at youth and it goes upward. You got so many people stealing and shit, you know, and doing just the dumbest things that they shouldn't do. Influences of black churches. Historically, the black church has always played a significant role in the African American community, providing social and emotional. So you did see Nick. I didn't see Nick in person, but I saw the stream. Yeah, you don't have to donate anything. I don't want any donators or nothing. But let me go back over this. Providing social, emotional, and spiritual support, serving as a central piece of worship and community engagement for black Americans, including children and national institutes, so the NIH. However, recent trends indicate a decline in connection with black churches among younger black generations, mostly the millennials and Gen Z. I could actually see that. Okay, even just that generation, Gen Z just wouldn't give a fuck for schools. Most of Gen Z, they're doing e-learning because of COVID. Oh, okay, let me get into my Zoom class real quick, guys. Hang on a second. Oh, hi, teacher. That's most of Gen Z right now. Physical schools almost don't even exist anymore. The democratic system, which we were relying on the Democrat Party for the most part through President Joe Biden, unfortunately, when COVID hit, where was our scholastic funds going? Where was, completely unrelated, but where was it actually going? Not to youth programs, which we fucking needed. The last one. Varying parental emphasis on religious similarities. I need to say more? Parents are more likely than black Protestant parents, 70 versus 53%, to prioritize their children growing up with similar religious beliefs to their own. While Christianity is embraced by both black and white children, there could be a difference in their levels of religious involvement, the influence of specific church traditions, and importance is placed. I would say that part is mostly based on state. So, I wanted to go over that because it's, as I said, everything starts at youth. This mystic camp Those photos you saw were from the website that she streamed. The 3 girls, or the 3 photos of the girls or whatever, these are here. Those are from the background, from what she just live streamed. I'm going to play it back real quick. It should come up.
I know I'm probably going to get canceled for this, but Camp Mystic is a whites-only girls Christian camp.
So you can go look at
They don't even have a token age.
But for whatever reason, Sky News Media, they just won't touch it. Just because, you know, there's some mixed children in there, they're not going to correct her at all because they don't want to be looked at as racist or something. Because in all honesty, what's more racist than just calling them all white kids? Because they're not. Not all of them are. I just find that kind of like the pot calling the kettle at that point for that one. But, you know, I made a post recently on Twitter just denouncing Sade Perkins. And Twitter, the next day, I got reported and I got my account locked and I was told, yo, you got to delete this. And I appealed that shit right away. And I made like a personal fucking email to Elon Musk and his team. I said, yo, you bought this shit for freedom of speech. This is freedom of speech. You got this woman advocating the death of 70-some children. What is wrong with you? Are you advocating that? Immediately, I got it back. And the turnaround, I did this instead. I recorded the exact post, and I'm gonna sum up what this post means. Okay, I'm gonna make this smaller so I can read it on screen a little bit. It says here, this is why in 1965, as a whole, all races, we overturned the last Jim Crow law. The Jim Crow law, real quick, for summary, for those that don't know, the Jim Crow laws have been in place since the early 60s, prevent black people from getting political positions of power, that being mayor, like law enforcement, like any position that they could abuse and take advantage of. That was how racist our country was back in the 60s. Unfortunately, we, got sick of it, and, time progressed and we got rid of it. Don't want to get into how 60s and 70s all went freedom, and then eventually they wanted to try to protest to allow gay marriage and all that, and we could go down here and sit down the road and all that stuff, but I'm not going to get into that. The point is, for this one instance, I mentioned the Jim Crow laws because this woman, a black woman put into office in a board position for controlling food in Houston, Texas, was put into power by a black mayor who recently passed away, not even a few months ago, and thought it was okay to talk about the death of children, multiple children, dozens, just because they're all white. Oh, wait, I hope those little fuckers wash up somewhere. That's horrible. That's genuinely fucking evil. How about we drown you? Can we drown you? Can we go back to public execution? Like, in all honesty, if Trump were to sign a bill, like, next fucking week, or even next year, to overturn the outlawing of public execution, do you know how fast our crime rate would drop? Do you know how afraid people would actually be to commit crime? To say evil shit like this? They would, real quick, like that overnight. You know? I mean, Kobe, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. I'm not going to be getting into that one. I seriously think that he would have done it because he was already at the bridge. I mean, the risk is there. He could have jumped. You never know. Or a car could have flown by and just had enough wind force to knock him over or make him tip, you know? You don't know what could happen. You're up on a bridge, hundreds of feet in the air. He falls off. He's done. He's cooked. There's nothing. There's no parachute bringing him back. That's unrelated. I don't want to talk about... Right now, I don't want to talk about Nick. That already happened. It's very unfortunate. I put my video up. That's my only statement. I want to talk about that right now. He was trying to blackmail the... Yeah, I know. I saw the whole thing. And the fact that as I said in my video in black red text, again, I don't want to derail this stream because it's about Sade Perkins. Unrelated. I'm just going to make this quick statement on that. I was already in contact with an agent of mine, a buddy that I've known for years, that helped me with the previous matter. And all I will say for my own statement and I'm going to say this out in the open, Tipster wouldn't have gotten to him in time. Tipster was there 10, 15 minutes when he was already on the bridge. He didn't say a word. He was harassing him for the 2 weeks leading up to that. I don't want to hear how they've made up. All the harassment during those 2 weeks is enough to push anyone over the edge. Any small amount, even if you huddle it up, it's still there. It's still going to bother you weeks later, months later, years later. Okay? I get bothered still when it comes to people talking about me, calling me a Billy Shill. And that's been years later. I get bothered when people say that I'm a fucking school shooter because of something Robertson Tellin said. Because he'd rather quote me as a school shooter without zero context. I don't feel like those people are good people. Fuck those people. If you're going to be a shitty person online, be a shitty person online. But if you're a good guy, you shouldn't get harassed to the point of climbing a bridge and doing something that drastic. Had the wind force pushed him over, that would have been fucking horrible. And that would not have been a great thing. I just want you to know, you know Nick, but bit the officer. I mean, I don't know anything about the details. I would say if he's on something right now, he's on something. And if he turned to drugs, you know, he turned to drugs. That's the unfortunate part. Again, whatever happened, happened. But I know that the officers weren't going to just let him walk down the bridge like he was asking. Because he was obviously... We suspected he was on something. We had to get him off the bridge physically. Because what if he had just walked down and then decided, all right, let me run back up real quick and jump off? The officers had to detain him quick. But again, this is not a place to derail. I want to talk about Sade Perkins for the rest of the stream. I don't want to talk about Nick any further. But I just gave my 2 cents on that. But to go back to this, you know, when Sade Perkins had the position of power to basically, you know, have the freedom to say something this evil on any platform at all, you know, I said we need to bring back public execution. You're going to talk about the death of 70 children, regardless of their race. This is a serious matter that happened in Texas. It's like, the crime should fit the punishment, right? Has that always been the same? Like, you know, an eye for an eye, you know? Like, if you're going to mock 70 kids dying, why not we, you know, from drowning and such, why don't we publicly drown you? I seriously, in all honesty, I'm being dead ass about this. Let's de-outlaw public execution. Let's bring it back. Put it on fucking pay-per-view. Put it on pay-per-view. Next person to commit a crime, you know, is heinous as murder, and it is 100%, 110% factual, plus, you know, a guilty verdict. Plus the, you know, admission of guilt. That should automatically be a firing squad. Or something. Just something entertaining at this point. Because how else are you going to stop another person from doing it? If criminals see bad things happening to other criminals online, they're going to fucking stop. The fact that we have this system in place in many towns, many states, many cities, where it's like, we're going to let them out on good behavior, and then they turn around literally weeks later and they do the same crime. And you hear it all the time in Philly. Do you know what the streets of Philly are like right now? Constantly at night? I've driven through Philly at night. It's not pleasant. You got repeat offenders out in the street. I mean, I'm not saying use a bullet. We could save the electric chair or something. I mean, you could do something here. But obviously, crime rate's still high. Nothing's being done. I say put it on pay-per-view so you could fund those bullets. You know, you got to stop crime somehow. It's got to stop. Even if you have to take the mortal capital route. I hate to say it, but we're in the point of society where everything we do online, unfortunately, has consequences. If we got people, and I don't want to requote Nick again, but let's say he's being driven to this point, shouldn't that exposed channel and these other fucking assholes that were bothering him be charged in some kind of manner? Or temporarily have their accounts, like, suspended for a week, a month, or whatever? You know, some kind of, like, justice system on social media to be put in place immediately to halt these drama channels, because it is fucking horrible. It is horrible. Well, that, you know, again, my 2 cents on the matter. Now, I'm going to go over, let's see here. I went over all those already. What is this? Okay, I went over that already. Let's see. Chrome tab. Here we go. So, people found out that I mined my tabs. people found out that Sade Perkins owns the Freedman's Farmers Market, right? So this farmers market was just basically this. It's not even a real like store or anything. It's kind of like this big alleyway that's like just an open grass lot that they kind of just put tents down and they give out food or sell food for very, very cheap compared to like Walmart prices or whatever. And this was originally set up by Perkins, so it wasn't bad at the start. So you had vendors coming in here working at this place, and she was making money through it. So she was helping organize and getting paid at the same time while paying other people that were coming in. So all these vendors, all these sellers, all the people that were growing the food, some people, the farmers that were coming in were selling to them. Well, now they can't sell them anymore because people are trying to boycott their entire thing because Sade Perkins thought it was okay to mock the death of 70 children just because they were mostly quote-unquote white. I don't know why news media, again, won't correct them because they are not all white. It's very clear. The mayor says she is losing her position on the Food Insufficiency Board, which is what her position was. She's already said on TikTok, already resigned. It doesn't matter because she didn't quit or lose her job. People can keep trying. You can't fire me, I quit. So, here was the one tweet that basically got her thrown the fuck out. Maybe God's will to wash them little cunts up. Like, and her partner turned around and made a statement. Her partner being a priest. Not a great sign. I want to think that maybe, I want to think that maybe somebody like this, how the fuck did they get into office? How do you put someone like that? You could have that private thought. Why does it need to be public? Why did that need to be public? What was the benefit there? Just reviewing all these statements. What's the church name her husband is a pastor at? Her partner's name is Rev. Dr. Collins Bosson. Shocking that the minister's partner can have such a hate for others. She would do good to reflect on the mystic's values. Be kind to one another. Be a better person than being here. Grow spiritually. Pray for her. She is sick. Yeah. I could see that. I could really see that. She made the Instagram page for her farmer's market private. Oh yeah, I want to show that. I have that right here. So now her Instagram page is no longer public. How are you going to privatize a fucking public market that's like in an alleyway? I have footage of this, but I don't feel like pulling it up now because now I just kind of feel bad to play that because now those people are out of a fucking job. This is a Facebook page. All now closed up. Except on Saturdays, apparently. If you want to come down on Saturday, I guess. I mean... This is great. This one right here. Turn the TikTok comments back on. Someone's scared. 411 fucking likes. What is this? You may take your tax deductible contributions at blah blah blah. I don't get it. What is the relevance there? I'm ignorant and wrong, and I'm gonna be loud about... Jesus Christ. What is wrong with people, man? She basically just canceled herself. This is a nice summary. Black fatigue refers to the physical and psychological and emotional exhaustion resulting from the constant stress of racism, assaults, thefts, murders, exposure to news, and information about injustice and violence of people by color. I mean, do I need to say more? Her statement, okay, what I'm trying to get at, is not the result of black fatigue. It is the result of being a real fucking racist. Just a real racist across the board. Not only were there multiple people of color in that camp and children of color in that camp, you outright denounced their deaths and their children. Like, that's a triple whammy. Like, I can't even laugh about it. It's fucked up to laugh. But it's like, at the same time, this person's a fucking idiot. Just a purebred fucking moron across the board. Oh, man. Let's go back. I apologize. I wanted to go over a couple more of these. Here we go. We are aware of the recent remarks made on social media by an individual formerly associated with Freeman's Town Farmers Market. This individual has no affiliation with the Houston Freeman's Town Conservancy, and the Farmers Market has not operated in partnership with nor under our endorsement for several years. For several years? I don't know about that. I saw a clip from last year that you guys were in operation. The views expressed are not aligned with our mission and values, team, or community or committee we serve. Our thoughts and prayers are all with the families affected by the tragedy of Camp Mystic. So they already know. They know who the fuck it is. It's very obvious that this is probably just Sade Perkins herself saying this shit. Because you know she fucked up. I mean, why else? Please continue to support the Freeman. It's a 4-part Houston history. It's a part. Sorry, it's part of Houston history. I'm misreading this because of the glasses. Thank you for pointing that out. She should be considering changing your post to calling for the boycott. And hasn't since 2023. Unless OP has information that I'm correct about, they should edit the original post and highlight the fact. An actual boycott or any expression of anger towards something extent would be necessary to direct the wrong thing. Either see you next Tuesday or she's cycling in her mental illness. Jesus Christ. We've been made aware of the statements made about the victims of the camp. It is important to note that the statements were not issued by a contingent staff member or a representative at the first. Jesus. I mean, this woman just fucked herself. It's an evil person, man. She's doubling down. It's disgusting. Shit, she's all over the news now. I don't even know if I want to play any of these news clips. Let me see if I can find... here's a good one. I want you to make note of how Sade Perkins... I'm gonna let this skip ahead. I want you to listen to Sky News. And mind you, I love Sky News. Sky News is no bullshit. You want to listen to bullshit-free news that isn't CNN or fucking Fox News or CBS? Go listen to Sky News. You ever watching the election? Go to Sky News. Sky News actually has a very clear and transparent U.S. election. When I was watching the last two, they were actually accurate as fuck, which is sad. But anyway, go watch the Australian news that covers the U.S. bullshit, because they're more accurate than us, which is scary. Which no one knows why. Which I just disproved that. Did I not just disprove that? Do I have to pull up the clip again? You know what I mean? Do I have to pull it up again? There are mixed color in here. They're not all white, okay? I seriously don't know why. I really don't know why. Okay, I really don't know why. I'm sorry. Let me go back to the clip here. Oh man. They had one. They had one. So hold on a second. This is my open to give just a little bit of context here. In open fairness, open 100% fairness to Sade Perkins. Show me the statement from Camp Mystic that you have factually in your hand right now that specifically says they wouldn't allow a child of color to get into their camp. Do you have a kid that you try to get in there to complain about, for example? Like, did you try to put one of your kids through Christian camp? I don't think so. I legitimately think that you're a purebred racist that did not give a fuck about this, that hates white people. That's all there is to it. But, you know, I'm going to give you the benefit of a doubt. If you can provide some kind of evidence that suggests that this Camp Mystic was only looking to bring in, you know, white children, then by all means, prove it. Otherwise, I guess eat a dick. Get canceled. I mean, you canceled yourself. That's already been done. They don't. Which most parents don't. It's not an all-white enclave. There were multiple races in the in the camp, bro. Like, what the fuck? This is the kind of scummy Democrat, okay? The biggest slime ball that we could ever have asked for to be put into an office. This is the kind of woman that I would see the only way she got into office was probably blowing the mayor. I'm gonna be dead honest. I don't care if that's a horrible statement to make. I feel like this ignorant piece of shit, the only reason she got in, you know, that's the only fucking way she got in. The only fucking way. If you're gonna be this stupid, I mean this fucking stupid and insecure, because you don't feel like you're getting enough attention as a board member for the fucking city, you're just being a fucking piece of shit. I mean, for real. These are children. Okay? These aren't adults. This isn't an adult camp. These are children. These are our kids. You know, part of the community. And it's okay to claim natural selection as your excuse for being a racist piece of shit as a Democrat. It's like, you know, you hear the Democrats on TikTok, their little echo space, when they get mad as fuck at the simplest and smallest thing, and when they don't win their conversation, they just call you a Nazi. That's their conversation ender, and then they just look like idiots in the end. That's something I could see this woman doing if approached in person. I could seriously, looking at this face, I could just tell just by looking at it, right? There's no shot. No fucking shot. You know, just let me look at it again. I'm going to close this down a little bit just so I can still see it at the same time, right? Like, you have to be... Oh, I just realized my audio is not picking up. What the hell? That is weird. It should. That was weird. Let me replay that then. Fuck.
Their white power, all right, to try to...
that's a good thing to restart my audio on. It's just, wow. That's out there.
Down, I guess. But the fact that it's just not working is even more hilarious.
Online commentators of all races and political persuasions have come after Perkins.
You've lost your mind, and I think it's a real good idea for you to take a break from social media because there's no way. How dare you try to say or try to compare such a tragic, truly tragic situation to some fucking illegal immigrants who chose to break the law and brought their kids here, and now their kids are suffering the repercussions.
This commentator agreed, saying, listen, I don't believe in cancel culture,
I actually have a statement
however, I
about
make
that. Look, if you're bringing your kids over here illegally, you're putting them at any risk of your own crime. Because you're here illegally, you could get deported anytime. What if you get deported and ICE or whatever the deportation team there that comes to grab you doesn't know you have kids, and then you're just leaving them there. And then they, that's how lost children happen. That's kind of a fucked up thing to do. So that's more of a huge irresponsibility on a parent at that point. That really is. So I get where that person's coming from, but try to understand they shouldn't even fucking be here. They're endangering their own kid by being here with them illegally. But I'm gonna proceed.
Exception for Sade Perkins. Her racism is on full display. She said that Camp Mystic was a white supremacy camp and that those girls got what they deserved.
Sorry,
an absolutely horrible human. I'm absolutely shook that somebody can be this cruel. And this commentator doubled down, highlighting the pathological obsession with race on the left.
This is a perfect example of some of the people in our society who obsess over race. They make everything about race. Girls are dying and washed up in a flood, and her first thought is, what's like the racial demographic of the people who are missing in this camp? It's pathetic. People like this are the people who work and keep racial issues alive. She talks as if this camp only allows white girls, with no proof other than simply pictures. What if it's just simply white people primarily have been the ones that decide to go there? Different cultures do different things.
What did I just say?
There have been multiple races of people there that...
What did I just fucking say? Even this guy gets it. What did I just fucking say?
Just aren't in the pictures. I know, could be a crazy concept. But people with this mentality are the ones who are harming our country. They're not helping anything. And it's pathetic. Again, girls are dying. They've been swept up in a flood. And she's thinking, well, the people behind this, there's a lot of white people there. I'm not seeing much color, so they must be racist. And we need to know the context behind that. Be quiet.
And eagle-eyed
it'd be like, what if it was a, I don't know if it's all girls camp or not, but like what if I was there as a kid, what if I was in Texas and I went to this Christian camp, and I'm like thinking about this, and it's just like, if I was a victim of this and I had this bitch online talking about me, I'd like to come back from the dead and haunt this bitch for the rest of her life. That'd be my first initial thought. For real. I'd be haunting this fucking motherfucker every single goddamn night. This person is pure evil and a pure racist. This isn't black fatigue. There's no excuse to be acting like this. This is a Such Bullshit podcast. This is why I did my podcast. Is because of fucking dumbasses like this motherfucker right here.
Perkins' life, exposing her as the partner of the senior pastor of the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Houston. The church was forced to come out with a statement, distancing themselves from Perkins and her comments. Her partner also condemned her comments, saying, I do like the fact that Sky News covers this part too. While she was not speaking on my behalf or on behalf of my congregation, I realized that her comments has caused harm to many people who are experiencing terrible loss and anxiety. I believe strongly that all people have inherent worthiness and dignity. Her comments were not in the spirit of the Unitarian Universalist values centered around love that my congregation and I share.
Clearly.
Unbelievably, Perkins was not the only person to spread hateful rhetoric about the victims of the Texas floods. Pediatrician Dr. Christina Probst was placed on administrative leave following her social media post saying, "May all visitors, children, non-MAGA voters be safe and dry. Kerr County voted to gut FEMA. They deny climate change. May they get what they voted for. Bless their hearts. Online commentators blasted this woman as well, with this person saying she is heartless to wish bad for children because their parents may have supported Trump.
Yeah, it's another
I'm
Democrat
very
piece
happy
of shit.
that she was fired from her
Bringing
job.
politics
She should
into,
be ashamed.
and
it seems
incident.
Dr. Props was only
It's another person
regurgitating
that's a
leftist
shitty
talking
person.
points from officials like Chuck Schumer, blaming Trump for the Texas floods.
So yesterday I asked for an investigation into what role, if any, the
Oh,
administration
let me pause this
staff
for a
cuts
second. Let me
to
describe
local
this one. This idiot from New York is whining about Texas. Why is a moron, a Democrat for New York, Chuck Schumer, complaining about Texas? Why is he bitching about Texas? It's not even his state to jurisdict, even to look over. It's not his fucking state. So why?
National Weather Service stations played in preparedness and response to the Texas tragedy.
Megyn Kelly
You know, if
unleashed
the
on
flood
the base.
happened in New York and like half of New York City got flooded all of a sudden from a fucking, a tsunami all of a sudden, you'd probably be blaming Trump anyway. Oh, it's all Trump's fault. Oh, I couldn't get much of an effort. I couldn't get help. It's a natural fucking disaster. How the hell do you expect to stop something like that? I mean, other than alerting people to get the fuck out in time, I mean, that's all you can really do. And you have the resources to do that. A simple fucking phone. Like, okay. I'm gonna shut him down completely in a single sentence. We have fucking Amber Alerts. Right? Amber Alerts on most phones to notify people of emergency situations where, children go missing. So why the fuck not use that? Or the emergency weather alert system, which is basically the same fucking kind of system that they use for the Amber Alert. So you mean to tell me they couldn't use that? They couldn't use that to warn everyone in all of Texas, hey, look, floods inbound, get the fuck out now. I mean, they probably didn't do that? Old people don't use their fucking brains. Anyone over 50 in political power, I can tell you right now, cannot use their fucking brain cell for 5 seconds.
Claims.
Some in the media, absolute ghouls all over the internet, trying to blame the president and Doge for the tragedy, claiming cuts by Doge to the National Weather Service are to blame, that they left the agency unprepared. There's a long list of disgusting political ghouls who are doing this.
Yeah.
They're insane. These are insane people. They're literally saying that these people deserved it, that these sweet little 8-year-old girls, that the 11 and 13-year-old girls with their arms around each other, that they deserved it because it's a Republican state and they must have voted for Trump and Elon, so suck it. It's absolutely disgusting.
And you know what? If it was a fucking Democrat that was still in office and half the House, would you ever hear the Republicans do something like this? Ever blame the Democrats? How often do they ever extremicize half their fucking views and call people Nazis and all this? They never did. It was only the Democrats ever did. The Democrats have just been a shitty party the last 8 years. I'm gonna be honest, but probably even longer than that. Even longer when fucking Obama was in office, because half the shit he did was not maintaining the peace. It was upping our healthcare and giving it out to just about anybody with a fucking shoebox in hand. But that's the end of Sky News. I just wanted to play that because I thought that was ridiculous. In fact, that's all I want to play. That's all I wanted to stream. I just wanted to give this good, 40, 50 minute, itinerary, my official return to the Such Bullshit podcast. Because, again, there's too much stupid shit going on in the fucking world for me to ignore anymore. I can't just sit idly by and not stream my thoughts and tell people to fuck off and get their shit together. Because let's be real here. I mean, what else is supposed to happen these days? Why can people get away with half the shit we're getting away with? And who's not going to be the one to speak up? It's obviously going to be me. I'm not being paid by news media. Fuck news media. Most of the news media in our country sucks anyway. And half the people that think that they're fucking news on YouTube are assholes and drama queens. So I might as well be the person that steps the fuck up and says something, right? For innovation's sake. It is what it is. This is my Such Bullshit podcast, episode 42, talking about black fatigue and Sade Perkins. My next one, I'm probably going to do one on Elon Musk. Because Elon Musk is basically slowly ruining Twitter, in my opinion. And unfortunately, I think with his whole argument going on with Donald Trump, he doesn't really know what the fuck to do with his platform. And I feel like he wants to ban Donald Trump, and then he'd be a hypocrite in silencing media and, you know, oh, freedom of speech is what I offer tonight. I look like a hypocrite if I don't. And he's afraid to teeter that line, which I'm hoping he does, because then I could get a good fucking laugh trolling the shit out of Elon, and most people will. I mean, a lot of people don't like Elon Musk simply for buying most of his Diablo gear, whatever the fuck it was. He bought like most gear in Diablo. He's just a scumbag, really. I don't like Elon Musk that much. And an electric car design, dude, I'm gonna be honest. That thing's a fucking shoebox. I'd rather just drive a Ford. Something reliable that I've been able to trust for the last 40, 50 years. So, you know, it is what it is. Take care. I hope everyone has a good, safe weekend. And, be careful with the storms, because heat waves, bad weather on the East Coast, and all in all, stay safe, hydrate, drink water, you know, touch grass, drink a Red Bull, and be a happy camper.